Here's Dave Adams.
Let me just move this for one sec so Ralph can get my pretty Tom Brady face on camera. So everybody's done an awesome job. Round of applause for everybody that's gone so far. Not many people left. All the graduates. Anyone from Atlanta, congratulations. I'm actually not from Atlanta, but it's really nice to see all these different people from different places, different cultures, backgrounds, religions. I'm actually from Boston, believe it or not, with my Sam Adams beer, my Brady shirt, and my championship hat. But some people still don't believe that I'm from Boston. So let me give you a nice, proper Boston greeting. Go fuck yourself. So I am from Boston. I don't know why you don't believe it. Maybe it's because I don't have a Boston accent. And to the people that tell me that, at least I don't have a Miami accent. Which sounds something like, Oye, chico, ¿cómo? Why'd you tell that joke? I told you it's literally no comico, puta gringa. Like, I don't even understand what it's like, no, I don't know what you're saying. It's like the weirdest mixture of English and Spanish, and it is ugly. At least the Boston people keep it all to one language, kind of. A lot of the words we say in Boston we change them into other words. So it's basically an entirely new language. Let me give you an example. As kids, we'd go to rated R movies, no longer because I go to ad school, but we'd go to rated R movies and we call them rated A movies. So any rated R movie is automatically scary because it's rated A. The other thing is, if you've ever been to Boston, you know there's a lot of deep red brick, and art directors love that shit. I'm a copywriter, so I just write on it, but art directors love it. So they often want the hex. They want the color code. So they say, what color is that? Is that burgundy? And I'm just like, you got me. But the other thing is, Miami has Joe's Stone Crab. Has anybody been there before? It's good, but we don't give a shit in Boston because we eat lobster with butter, with a Sam Adams beer on the side. Because we don't drink water. And you might think after that joke, we don't give a shit about the letter R. And you're right. So there's other towns in Massachusetts other than Boston. And a lot of them, you would think, have R's, but you're wrong. The town of Worcester actually has 2 R's. The town of Gloucester actually ends in an R. It's like we completely said goodbye to that letter. Poof. 25 letters in the alphabet. But really, we just gave the Boston R to the Miami Cubans. You're welcome. That's why they've since doubled down on that letter R with words like carro and perro and trump. And you would have thought that Democratic R that went to Miami would not have voted for that Cheeto motherfucker. But they did. So, with all this letter dropping, and now we have 25 letters, like I said, you would think that people would assume that Boston people aren't smart. We have 1 less letter. So how can you say that we're smart when we say that we're smart? It's like when we say that, it completely nullifies our own intelligence. It doesn't work. The other thing is, we are not smart, even though we're considered one of the most literate cities in the US. Like, believe it, top 10, 25 letters. Doesn't make sense. But I guess to me, it does work because the first words we all learned as Bostonians were Yankees suck. And the next 2 words we learned were fucking Tom Brady. That's 3, but worth it. And at that exact same moment, Miami Dolphins fans learned these following words. We are so fucked. And unlike the weather forecast down here, Miamians were very, very right about that one. So besides this crazy accent, there are some other differences between Boston and Miami. Boston's cold, it's windy, people actually use their damn turn signals. But when we use our turn signals, it's like we lower our window and we tell you to go fuck your mother. And there's a special turn signal in Boston that we use. You may not have heard of because you got to take it in driver's ed. And everybody lives in Miami now, so you don't do that. And it's a little something that works every single time. So what you do when your blinker doesn't work, your turn signal, and you need to turn left, is you lower your window, you gradually put your left arm out the window, and slowly raise your middle finger until everyone gets out of the way. Works like a charm in Boston every single time. And that's because Boston drivers are tough. So you got to be tough right back. Every action has a reaction that's equal. So Boston people are really tough, and that's because we got to learn how to drive in the snow. And it's kind of like, it's the shittiest feeling. I mean, you don't have complete control of the car. You kind of glide around like you're on a boat. You don't really know what's underneath. So if you're on a boat, I guess it's kind of like how Jose Fernandez died. He's never been to Boston. Oh, go Red Sox. But even when there's snow on the ground, when there's hail, when there's too many Super Bowl rings on the street and you can't drive. Sorry, guys. You got to get there somehow. So if you're not going to drive, you're taking Uber. But in Boston, we don't have Uber, believe it or not. We're a tech city. We don't have Uber. We've got something called Uber. What else is different? Let's see. Miami and Boston. There's a lot of Cubans down here. There's a couple Cubans that I just met tonight, too. They're just fucking everywhere. And there are almost no Cubans in Boston. Like, the Cubans down here, it's littered. Like, even the stray cats here are Cuban. And I can tell, like you could probably tell too, they keep coming up to our door as if they want to float on it. Like, that joke might be savage, but you might not believe it now, I'm actually half Cuban. Yeah. The white Cuban, like the white wolf. So, my mom is from Havana, and no, she did not approve of that last joke. Because she came here on a fucking tire, not a door. She demands accuracy in my joke telling. But, I mean, Cuban people are prideful people. Like, they're badass. Am I right? Cuban people are badass. That's why we're all somehow related to Scarface. And that's why most of us end up in jail. But even as a half Cuban, as a halvesy, a mudblood, a fake, I still have a full heart of Cuban pride. So that's why when I go back to Boston and people ask me, oh, where are you from? Like, where's your mom from? What's your background? What's your ethnicity? What'd you put on your resume? I'm like, fuck, I'm half Cuban. They're like, oh my God, what? Amazing. That is so cool. Like, I can't even, what? So many hashtags to be done right now. But when I come to Miami and I tell people I'm half Cuban, they look at me and they say, uh-huh, do you have a Walgreens card, white man? It's like, what the fuck, Miami? I just don't get it. Can't win. So that's why I'll sometimes call my friends that also wear Patriots jerseys, have Boston accents, have some really pathetic culture, just to talk, just, to hear their voices. And also call my parents, just to hear my ideas aren't complete shit. And that's all I have for tonight, folks. And as we say in Boston, you've been a wicked awesome audience.
Give it up for Dave Adams.